Hello, my name is Zelda, and I am going to be talking about how I passed the GED, and I'm going to be sharing my tips and how I studied and what I studied for, and yeah. I'm sorry if my hair's a mess, it looks bad on camera. So here's some information about me, or whatever. I'm 16, and I just graduated 2 days ago. So that's pretty exciting. Anyways, this is the book that I ordered. I ordered this book like a week or two after my 16th birthday. It's really not expensive. It was probably about $18 to $20, which is not a bad price for this book. It's an amazing book. It's Kaplan. As you see, it's the Kaplan GED test, Premiere 2017. And it has 2 practice tests on the book, 1 online, which you sign up for. You put like the code that's in your book or whatever. And as you can see, passing score is guaranteed. And yep, it's true. Anyways, so I took my math and reading first, which my math I scored a 162, 3 points away from college ready. My reading a 163. And then this week I took, what did I take? Oh, I took my science, which I scored a 163, and my history, which I scored a 162, which I'm very surprised of because I suck at social studies. I passed all my tests the first time. Oh yeah, and you're able to calculate your GED scores to see basically what your GPA would be, and mine would be a 3.25, which isn't that bad since I never even stepped foot in high school. I never stepped foot in high school. I became homeschooled in the 8th grade. And I was probably about 13 years old, and I taught everything that I know from this book. Had no help from teachers, but I did watch a few videos before I took the test, which really helped. So I'll be sharing my study tips today, so you guys won't have to freak out as much as I was. I was freaking out before I took my test, but now I'm like, wow, I freaked out for nothing, but I'd rather freak out and stress out for nothing rather than be calm and then didn't make the test. So first we're going to start with reading. Take the pre-tests on the GD.com because those actually really help to see if you're going to pass or not. I took all of them twice except for the reading. I took the pre-test and I scored a 162, so then I was like, okay, so I'm going to pass. And then for my math, I took the pre-test and scored a 163 the first time, and the second time I took it the day before I took the test, and I scored a 174, so I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna pass. Science, I scored a 151 the first time. I studied some more, I scored a 174. My social studies, I took that pre-test 3 times. The first 2 times I scored a 145. Both times I was like, oh my goodness. And then my third time I scored a 157. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna pass. I'm probably not gonna get a really good score, but I'm gonna pass. And I scored like 3 points away from college ready, and I was like, wow, okay. But how I studied for the reading is just multiple choice. Things like 30 or 40 questions, and that wasn't actually that hard. It was like just basic multiple choice reading. The essay was surprisingly very easy. It's 2 arguments, and you basically have to pick the argument that is best supported and has like more data, or just like more, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know, but I'll be putting some videos that I watched that really helped me. Basically the essay was like very easy. I just read both arguments, and then I picked the argument that had more supported details and more explanations and more data and, more stuff that I could talk about. And I zoomed through that essay like very fast, and I was so nervous about that essay because I never wrote an essay before because I've never been to high school. So, and then I ended up scoring a 163. But yeah, the reading, that was actually very easy. If you get this book, they have practice examples for you to do, which I didn't do. But I watched some videos that really helped me that I will be putting down in the description for you guys to watch, so I hope that helps. I'm gonna do math last because math is like more stuff. But now for science, this book basically has everything that's in, you know, on the test. But the main stuff that's on the test is Punnett squares and graphs. So make sure you do your Punnett squares, and then the graphs are really easy because basically the answer is on the graph or is in the passage that you have to read. Most questions on the science test, you have to read passages and answer them. So honestly, if I probably didn't actually study, I probably still would have passed because I could have just read it in the passage, but still study because it makes it way easier if you actually know what you're reading. And then there's also photosynthesis in the test. Like one answer I got from it. But so remember the chemical equation of photosynthesis because I felt like it was going to be on the test, and it was, and I knew the answer, so yay. So yeah, mostly just learn about recessive allies and dominant allies. I forgot for a second because those aren't the ones where you can read the passage and figure out the answer because you're gonna need to know. But yeah, it was mostly graphs, which I was like, okay, cool. Wasn't mad about that. So that was basically the science. Lots of people were telling me to learn about the food chain and all that, which I did, but I did not get any food chains or food webs questions. The only question that I was like about was like, I think it was like a DNA question. I don't know, it was something, I can't even remember, but it was like the first question I got, and I was like, oh wow. Anyways, how to study for the history. I honestly don't know because I looked everywhere on how to study for the history because, like I said, I suck at social studies. I couldn't find anything. Maybe like the best thing is to study the vocabulary, you know, about checks and balances. I remember I had to read something about checks and balances, monarchy, legislative branch, all of that stuff. I did. I have flashcards that I made on my own on the vocabulary, which I don't know, didn't really help me that much, honestly, but I still did it anyways because that was the one I was really stressed about, and I thought that was gonna be the one that I would have to retake. I scored a 162. I was like, oh my gosh. But honestly, I don't really know how you could study for that because I studied with this book. This book was way easier, well, to me, than the actual test. On the main practice test of the social studies, I scored like an 82%, and then on the pre-tests, it was like a whole different thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail. And it was just like the pre-test. The GD.com was mainly just like the pre-test, but I still ended up passing, and I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. I honestly thought I was gonna get a really low score. But yeah, I don't know how you would be able to study for that. Just vocabularies and probably read some speeches or passages because that's like the only way I could probably think that could probably help you if you're not good with social studies. Like I said, I'm not good with social studies and somehow I still passed. And also you're able to flag questions on the GD test. So I flagged a lot of questions during social studies because I was like, I'm gonna have to go back on that. I flagged like probably half of the questions on the test. My tips for math. And for math, these are the main things that you're gonna need to study for math. Polynomials, interqualities, graphs like y equals mx plus b, or like finding the slope basically, or how to graph a line. There wasn't a lot of those questions on the test, but there's a good amount of those questions on the test. So basically, if you get this book, you want to start, for the polynomials, you want to start at page 336 and just go like through all the polynomials. I didn't get that many polynomial questions, but they were still on there. And then there were some inequalities. There was like geometry. I probably only got like 4 geometry questions, which I was like, oh wow. I'm good at geometry, but I was expecting a lot more. But if you also get this book, you're gonna want to study like page 366, which is graphing a line, because they're gonna make you graph a line, a couple lines, and then basically you want to do everything with slopes and graphing, because there's a couple questions on there. I'll also link some videos that I watched before I went to the GED, which helped me so much. Honestly, everything that I'm gonna link below is on the test, and if you watch those videos and study them, you are like 95% gonna pass. And most of the test is just basic math. You can use your calculator after the first 5 questions, which is really cool because it makes the test a whole lot easier. So this book does teach you everything that is on the test, like the math section, and but like half of the math session, half of the math section is like basic math that you probably already know if you like did like good in math in school, but I still went over everything, you know, just to be sure. Do get a calculator. Get yourself the calculator that you need. It's like the Texas, it's this one. I don't know if you can see that, but it's the TI 30XS multi-view, and that helps a lot. The calculator costs probably about 20 something, or like 18 to 20 something. I know it's expensive for calculator, honestly, but you might as well get that because it's gonna help you a whole lot to pass the test. So you might as well spend your money on that than, you know, not having a calculator or not knowing how the calculator works. If they give you one, then you end up failing the test and having to pay another like $30-something. So I'd suggest you get the calculator because that helps a whole lot, honestly. And then plus you get to bring it to the science, you get to bring it to history. Oh, but in science there is some math. It's just mean, medium, and mode, which is like the most easiest thing ever. On the math test, mean, medium, mode is in there, so practice that. That's like so easy, especially if you have a calculator. I will put links below for the language arts, like the essay part that really helped me, and for the math, like all the videos that I watched that helped me for the math. And that I honestly, if I just watched those videos instead of this, like going through this whole math section, if I just watched the videos that I posted right now, I would have passed. I still would have passed without having this book, and it would have saved me a whole lot of time. But yeah, and also if you, after you take the test and you want to see what your GPA would be, you basically just add all your scores together, divide it by 4, and then you divide that by 200, and then you times it by 4, and then boom, you have your GPA score. And I'm not sure if I said, but mine's a 3.25, which is like B's all year round, and it's above average, so that's pretty cool for like a person that didn't even graduate middle school. Plus the GED is harder than the SATs, so if you do pass the GED, like just know that you would pass the high school test, and you're probably smarter than some high school students, honestly. And so after you graduate, you go on this website, and you basically get your diploma for free. So I'm gonna be receiving my high school equivalency diploma pretty soon, which is pretty neat. That's about it. If you guys have any questions, comment below, and I'll make sure that I'll answer them as soon as possible. I wish you all good luck on the GED test, and don't stress out too much because it was actually easier than I thought, because honestly I was stressing out so much over all the subjects, and I ended up passing all of them first try with high scores. So yeah, I'm gonna be heading to college this year, so pretty excited about that. And yeah, like I said, if you guys have any questions below, just comment and I'll make sure I'll answer them, and watch the videos in the link because they will help you a whole lot. And yep, and if I didn't say, I currently live in Oklahoma, so that's how I was able to take my GED test at 16. I'm not sure if any other states you're able to do that. I'm not sure if you're able to do that in California. I don't think you are. But I'm from California. That's why I brought that up. But yeah, so I'm gonna be heading to college in California pretty soon. So yes. So yeah, if you have any questions below, comment, like I said, like the last 5 times, and I will answer them. And good luck. I wish you the best of luck, and go get your GED. Go graduate. You could do it.